Choose life, choose a job, choose a career, choose a family, choose a fucking big television, choose washing machines, cars, compact displays and electrical tin openers.
Welcome to Kermode Uncut, where I have to confess that I am really feeling my age. A few decades ago I was on the radio with Danny Baker, and Danny Baker said this thing. He said, "You do realise that we are now further away from the death of punk than punk was from the death of Buddy Holly." And I thought, wow, that's unbelievable. I mean, where did all that time go? Well, it's the middle of February 2016, and we are now, get this, 20 years away from the opening of Trainspotting. Now, this may not have the same significance to you as it does for me, but believe me, as a 52-year-old, being 20 years away from the opening of Trainspotting is a really big deal. When Trainspotting first came out, I was working at Radio 1 FM as it was then known, because FM was considered to be a really hot thing back in the 90s. And I remember really clearly seeing Trainspotting. I went along to see it. I was co-hosting the Radio 1 film show with me and Mary Ann Hobbs. And I went to see Trainspotting, and I liked it. I thought it was really good. I didn't think it was quite as good as Shallow Grave, which I'd been really, really impressed by, which I kind of thought was sort of slightly more stripped down, but I thought it was a really good film. Mary Ann Hobbs then went to see it, and I remember her coming back into Radio 1, having seen it, almost screaming with delight, saying, "It's the best film of the 90s, it's the most important film of its generation, it is the film of our generation." And me thinking, yeah, okay, right, you only think that because you haven't seen a whole bunch of films, and how can you possibly make that kind of judgment? Well, let's wait and see how things settle down. Well, turns out, of course, Mary Ann Hobbs was completely right, that Trainspotting was so important. And I also remember very clearly, my friend, I think it was Nigel Floyd, said, I think this is the Clockwork Orange for this generation, which is strange to me because for me, Clockwork Orange is the Clockwork Orange of my generation. I mean, I wasn't old enough to see Clockwork Orange when it came out. I mean, I was like 8, but I was old enough to be able to go to cinemas that were showing it and to know all about the fuss and to know how much I wanted to see it. See, a really strange thing is that films are like pop music. There's a certain period in your life when you absolutely understand it. And after that, you have to make a little more effort to really realise what's great and what's going to last forever and what's perhaps just transient. I remember really clearly seeing The Exorcist for the first time when I was a teenager and thinking, this is the greatest movie ever made. And you know what? I was right. I mean, in 52, I still think it's the greatest movie ever made. Some may disagree, but hey, what are you going to do? You're wrong. But as far as Trainspotting is concerned, it actually took me a little bit of time to realise just how important it was. But then a couple of months after it had opened, we were playing Iggy Pop's Lust for Life every single week on the film show, and I was having to concede that Mary Ann Hobbs had got there faster than I had realised immediately just how important Trainspotting was. Now, there is a Trainspotting sequel apparently on its way, which reunites the central characters. And over the years, I've interviewed many of the people involved in it, and they talked about the possibility of this sequel. Now it looks like it's actually properly happening. What's it going to be like? I mean, will Trainspotting 2 be the Trainspotting of its generation? Or will it be a film for people like me who are old enough to remember that when the first one came out, we thought it was the Clockwork Orange of their generation? If so, that means I'm now 3 generations away from being on the money. Blimey.
I'm cleaning up and I'm moving on, going straight and choosing life. I'm looking forward to it already. I'm going to be just like you. The job, the family, the big television, the washing machine, the car, the compact disc and electrical tin opener, good health, low cholesterol, dental insurance, mortgage, starter home, leisure wear, luggage, 3-piece suite, DIY, game shows, junk food, children, walks in the park, 9 to 5, good at golf, washing the car, choice of sweaters, family Christmas.